Thank you. Um, going to share my screen. Okay, so I'll just take it from the given assignments, and we can move forward just to touch on it a bit, so that we can all be on the same page. So the assignment was just as we have the average sales, we want to work on the average profit, the average discount, and the average quantity. So if we remember, I would just go ahead and use the profit. If we remember, we talked about using the day because it's an historical sales data. So we changed this to day. Then we bring in our profit and we duplicate our profits, then run down to quick table calculation. Then we changed it to moving average. After then, we moved the profit moving average here, and we rename it to profit moving average. And then we already created the parameters, the previous end days. Then we come into our profit moving average. We edit it and we change the 2 that we have here because the usual calculation there was -2, which means it's calculated 2 previous days and current day 0. So we change it to the previous end days, and once we click OK, we have the information concerning the trend of the profit over the years from 2014 down to 2017. And the parameters, we can increase it or decrease it however we want, and then we can give it a color, either whatever color we feel like giving it, and we can change the marks to area. Then we can further have a better visualization. The same thing applies to the discount, and the same thing applies to the quantity. So it's more visible here on the quantity part. You can see the trend. So, okay. So, on today's episode of what we have today, we want to know the sales average for a certain period of time, and to know the sales record for a certain period of time. Yes, just like I mentioned the other day, I said that, for example, if we want to, for example, let's say this is our y-axis and this is our x-axis, and this is the sales trend. And let's say this line to this line, let's say it's March 2015 to July 2016. And we want to have the sales record for just this period, using this line as a means of identification for the period where we just want to have information concerning. So that's what we're going to do today, and a few other things, then we call it a day. So this is a pictorial image of, let's say, a sales trend, and this is the sales trend. but we want to have information concerning this period from here to here. So that's what we will be doing tonight. So please, if there is any question as we go along, kindly call my attention, please. It's very important, so that we can all be on the same page. Now, because we want to work with the sales data to have information concerning the sales trend or the sales amount for a particular period of time. The first thing we want to do is bring our order dates to our columns. Just like the last time, we change it to month. We change it to month. After changing it to month, then we can bring in our sales to rows. So if we look at it, this is January 2014, February 2014, March, April.
Please, can you go back 2 steps?
Okay. We started with our order dates. Started with our order dates because that's the field that is the field that has the date information. Then we change it to month. If we look at our data, we look at our data, we see that we have the first set of year, quarter, month, day, and more. Then the second part, we have year, quarter, month, week, day, and so on and so forth. But we want to use month in the second part. So after we might have selected our month, we want to bring in our sales to rows. Automatically, we should have something like this. Now, to further visualize this visualization, we have to create a kind of dynamic in the visualization so that there can be lines that can move. It's more like a filter, but to ask for certain information, like filter and parameters, but filters and parameters, they complement each other. So now the first thing we want to do now is we want to create a parameters. So just like we used to do, can click on this button, create parameters. So we want to name these parameters from date, the data type is date because we're working with date. The data type is date, and the date format. The date format. Let us select standard long date. Okay. Standard long date. And we can choose the current date to be what it is, 2024. Let's leave it at that. And we select allow all because we need all the information. We click OK. Here we have our parameters. So now let's duplicate this from date parameters. All we have to do is click on the button that's in front of it. and click duplicate.
Excuse me, Albert.
Yeah,
When you're creating parameter,
yeah.
how do you determine the name they're given to the parameters?
It depends on the visualization you are working with. For example, now, this particular visualization,
Yes.
we want to work with dates from a particular date to a particular date,
Okay.
which is a particular time frame in the or within the data set.
Yeah.
So our parameter will pick information from a particular date that we will give to him and to a particular date, and it will sum up the whole sales amount and give
For
us
that
the sales
period.
amount.
Okay.
Okay. So now I said let's duplicate the from date. Click on the button in front of it, duplicate. Then we can rename the from the copy. Let's open it up. Click edit. Then we can change this to date. So let's say this is 2016. Are we together?
Yeah.
Okay, and let's say okay. So now let's go and open the from date. Let's change the date to, let's click on edit and let's change the date to 2014. Let's change the date to 2014.
Please, which format did you choose for the other one?
Uh,
That one.
it's
Which one
a
did you play?
standard long date.
Long one. Okay, all right.
Standard long date.
Thank you.
So let's change the date of the from date to 2014. Click OK. Good. So now let's show parameters. Let's click on it and we show parameter from date. Let's click on the to date also and show parameters. Are we on the same page?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now having created the needed parameters, we need the reference lines. No, we need the lines, not reference. We need the lines called the reference band. Now, for us to locate where the reference lines, the reference band, and other type of lines, where they are, there is something called analytics here, just beside your data. Let's click on it. It brings up the constant line, average line, median, and everything, and every other lines. But we need the reference band. Now, to bring up the reference band, once you click on it, hold your cursor and drag it out, you should have a pop-up like this. I'll take that again. Once we want to pick the reference band, we have to hold down our cursor and drag it out. Once we drag it out, let's drop it on month, order, date. Let's drop it on month, order, date. Then we have this pop-up. Now, so this pop-up, what do we want to do? We have value, we have label, we have every other information. But what we want to do is this first value, want to click on the button right in front of it and change it to from date because we have created the parameters. We change it to from date. Then the label, we open it up, we select value because we want it to give us the value of a particular information. Select value. Then the tooltip is automatic. Then we come to the band tool because as we can see, it has given us band from band to. Then we'll select the value and we'll give it to date. As you can see, even the visualization is taking shape as we are giving it the information. If we look at my screen, we'll see 11/27/2014. That's peak date, Thursday, November 27, 2014 to 2016. It has started picking it already, but we are not done. We have given it to date and the label, give it value and leave the tooltip as automatic. Then we select the line and we choose the line. As we choose the line, it pops up. Now, we can also give the line a color. I love to give the line color so that it can be distinct. If we want, we can give it a color. We can leave it at black. Then we'll click out. And then this fill, the fill is simply to either gray out the points where we have selected. It's to gray it out. That's what the fill does. So you can select any color of your choice, as I'll be selecting this color or something more or something bold. Okay. And once we might have done that, we click OK. And if you made a mistake on you while doing this, while imputing the reference band, you can click on the line and go to edit. It opens up the reference band window again. So I'll leave this like this for everybody to be on the same page, but I believe we should be. And after that, we click OK. So as it is, we have the visualization. And if we come into our dates, it opens up the dates and we can then select the dates that we want. And we can then choose the dates we want to have the information concerning that the sale for that period. And you can as well just bring in your cursor and type in your date because that's what I just tried. Just typed in my date and I click out. You can type in your date if you want, and at the same time, you can select the particular information you have. Like I've got my date to like 2024, so it will capture almost everything on the visualization. And then you can even click inside either your from date or your to date and type in the preferred dates and you click enter and it gives us the information for that period, you know. So basically with this, we have achieved looking for the information for the date of Sunday, December 13th, 2015 to 11/27/2016. Now, that's not the end. So let's rename these sheets. Let's rename these sheets. Let's name it sales. Let's say sales time frame or some sales time frame. Okay, let's say okay. Now, we want to further visualize more. As we have chosen these dates, what is the total sales record for that period? So now, what
Quick
we want,
question, Albert, sorry
okay,
to interrupt. So for the from date and to date, actually I wanted to ask about the format. Is it possible to change the format to like 27/11/2016, like day, month, year, instead of, or would I have to do that on my computer and not on here?
I do not understand totally. Can you rephrase?
Okay, so the date format, yours is month, day, year. But is it possible to change it to day, month, year?
Well, it depends on your what's this. Let's try that. When you would come into the parameters, let's edit. If you look at the date format, it has standard long date, standard short date, and these other types. You can come to custom
Okay,
to customize the type of date format you want.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The same way it applies to Power BI that you have the long date, short date, custom, and the likes. Same thing applies to Tableau. Okay, so now, since we have the visualization, want to further bring in information into the heading, then let's come to the title bar of our visualization. Let's double click. Now, let's not forget that this sheet name is some sales time frame. This sheet name is representing some sales time frame. That's the name of the sheet. Now, so what we want to do now is want to get the total sales record for the period we want to select. So now let's move our cursor to the front of this this sheet name. Then we want to add a few information. Then let's say from. Then once we have from, let's come to insert. We'll see among other parameters, from date parameters to date, some sales, but we need both parameters from dates, parameters to dates. So let's select our from dates. It inserts it. So from date to, we click on insert again, and we bring in our to date. So we can then select the font type and the font size, but I believe we know how to do that. I won't be going into that. So save us time. So once we click apply, click OK. So it only gives us information as regards the date that we have selected. Now, to help us get the information concerning the sales amount, we have to introduce the if clause. The if clause is something like, I know some of us might have heard it or probably might have used it. The if clause is like, if A plus A equals B, or for example, let's say, if sales, or let's say if sales is equal or greater to profit, then profitable. If sales is equal or less than profit, not profitable. So that's how the if clause works. In a situation whereby, if you want to, for example, do age category, like you want to have teenagers, adults, fathers, mothers, for example, you'd have something like the age bracket, let's say from 10 to 15, then you can have, if you select your field, like your column, if the age is equal or greater than 10 to 15, then return adult or teenagers. So that's how the if clause works. But we would you would further demonstrate the if clause. But one specificities about Tableau is at every, just like in Tableau, we use the bracket to close whatever DAX we give to it. Here on Tableau, we use end. On Tableau, we use end. So with this, we'd now be creating a calculated field. So now let's come to our button here and click on our calculated field. So we would name our calculated field as sum of sales range. Sum sales, sum of sales, I said sum sales. Sum of sales range. Now, what will be our calculations? So we want to have total what is the expression? Let's say sum. What is the expression of the sum? That's when we have if. So the total sum, if order date, because that's the field or that's the column we want to work with. If order date is equal or is greater, let's say is greater or equal to from date, from date, and order date, and order date is less or equal to date, then then sales. Then sales. Then we end it. So what we're simply saying is the total sum of if the order date is greater or equals to from date, and that same order date is less or equal to date, then give us the total sales. That is what this expression is for, the total. Give us the total sales. Because there is a difference between the sum of sales and the total sales. The sum of this will only give us the sum, but the total sales will give us the overall total sales for that period. So once we click apply or OK, let's say OK. Since our calculation is valid, let's say OK. Then here we have sum of sales.
On my one is saying the calculation contains errors.
What? Let me go back to what do you say, Jack?
On my one it says the calculation contains errors.
Is seeing errors?
Yes, on my one, yeah.
Okay, I'll let me start again. And
The same thing with mine.
okay, let's start again. As you type in your total, once it brings out the total, click on it, then it opens the expression, right? Then in the brackets, we type in our sum. The thing about Tableau is once you type in a particular information, it pops up, it gives you the information. You have to select the one it gives to you. We click, you select the sum, then we bring in our if, then our order date, is greater or equals to from date, and order dates. You see, it once I click the information it gives to me, it brings out my cursor outside, so I bring it back inside because I cannot type outside the bracket. If not, the calculation will contain errors. So it has to be inside the comma because the end expression works with these two comma. Because here we have 1 comma, 2 comma, so the 1 and 2 commas has to close the expression. The same thing applies to Power BI. If the information has 10 commas, no, sorry, 10 brackets, you have to put in 10 brackets to close it. So, and order dates less or equals to date. Yes. To date 10. Then sales. And then we end it. Do you guys have same thing now, or it's still the same? Do you have same thing or it's still the same?
Yeah, after got the same. Mine's still the same calculation contains errors. I don't know what I'm getting wrong.
Okay, you see, yours still has error.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll copy this information into the group now. So
Okay.
let's pick it
Okay.
from the group.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, it's on the group now, so you can pick it from the group. So that's does not
Okay, mine is correct now. It's showing valid. The
okay.
calculation is valid.
Calculation is valid. Let's say okay. So now we have our sum of sales range, and let's not forget, whenever we have equals to sign in front of whatever calculation we have here, it means it is a calculated field. Now, having done that, let's move our sum of sales range to detail. Let's drop it on detail because we want to bring it into the heading of our visualization. So let's double click on our sheet name. Then we have what we've done before. Let's open it up. Then we want to add is, because we've added sum of sales range to detail, it will automatically come into the information in the insert space. You can see aggregate sum of sales range. So if we select sheet name from date to date is what? If we add our aggregate sum of sales range to it, then we'll click apply. Automatically, it gives us the sum sales, just like this. So we have something like this. But don't forget, we've not formatted, what's it called? Why do I have this? Press something on my my title bars moved. But then, do we have the same thing?
As in the number of the total?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've got 551,014.
Okay. Mine has gone. Let's see. Okay. But do we have the same information? Me and Co. Because I'll have to like do this all over.
Hello, Albert. I don't have, when I went to the title, edit title part, I don't have the aggregate sum average.
Did you bring in the sum sales into your detail?
Oh no, I did not. Sorry. Where do I drop it? Into details. Okay, sorry. That was what I missed. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So yes, so you should have the total information in the from date to date is, let's say I want to just leave it the way it is. Some range apply. So just like this, we should have something like this on the title bar of the visualization. However, we've not formatted it. Let's not forget that. We'll still have to like format it, the font style, the font color, and the likes. But we can then remove this, the axis, because it's not useful. Okay, so with that, we are able to have information concerning sales from this time, from 2012 to 2016, for example. And we can further change the date and have the information as regards that. Any question before we go to the next thing? Any question? Today is our 6th class, so we should be left with a 1.5 class or 2 classes. So in 2 weeks, we should be done with Tableau. So if there is no question, let's go to the next visualization. Now, the next visualization we want to, because from next class, we'll be going into our dashboard extensively. So I want to make sure we cover all the necessary visualizations before we move into the dashboard. So we don't have to come back to anything. Even if we have to, might just be one tiny thing, maybe to add color or to edit a few things, so to say. So the next visualization we want to visualize is we want to have something like the product sales by profit meter using scattered plots. And then a scattered plot is used when we want to plot a measure against another measure. Yes, when we want to plot one measure against another measure to show information concerning those measure. So let's go now. Let's bring in our sales to columns, and then let's bring in our profit to rows. Now we'll see that it has given us a point where the profit and the sales, where they meet this point, because it's in automatic. It's in automatic. So it has given us a point where these two information meets. But we don't want it to be like this. You don't want it to be like this. We want to have a full information. So if we come to analysis, this analysis right here, if we click on it and uncheck aggregate measures, it has aggregated the measures. That's the right word. It has aggregated them, but because the profit is around 286,000, which is somewhere here, which is somewhere in between 250 and 300K, and the sales is 2.297 thereabout, because this is 500K, 1 million, 1.5, 2 million. That's giving me the points. But we want to uncheck these aggregate measures. Let's uncheck aggregate measures, and we'll see we should have something like this. Then want to change the shape from automatic to circle. Yeah. Oh, let's change it to shape so that let's change it to shape so that it does not change. Now we can then come into the shape to see if we want to change the shape. Let's say we select this and we have something like this. Now, what else can we now? If we click on this, these are all the products that the organization sells. Now, this is our sales, and this is our profit. These are profits, which is on the y-axis, and our sales on the x-axis. Now, if we bring our cursor to any of the star, we would have the profit amount and the sales amount. But we can do something to further have let's say to further let the visualization have more meaning. We just need one information. As we click on it, we are just seeing profit and sales. That's all. We need to know something about what we are clicking on. Any idea on what we can, on one thing we can bring into this Max pane to give us more info, to help us have more information about all of these stars that we have here. Anybody?
Are you speaking from the tables part or from the marks?
No, we have to, I want us to bring one information from the tables, yes, into the marks.
Yeah, can it be product ID or product name?
No, not product ID. Not product ID. But of course, you tried. It's actually product name.
I said that as
Oh,
well.
sorry, I didn't hear. Sorry.
No.
Because I mentioned the other time that these are all the products of the organization. So if we move in our product name into label, this is what we'll have, but we don't want to do that. We want to bring in our product name to detail because we don't need the name on this information. We just need the name to come in as a tooltip. So as we click on it, it gives us the product name and the information concerning the product. So we know that this is a Canon image glass, blah, 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 and the rest. So having done that, now we want to bring in, here we'll be using the reference line. Just as we used the reference band the other time, we're using the reference line so that if, for example, we want to know or we want to have information concerning some certain products that are above a certain profit threshold or that are above a certain sales threshold. So that is what the reference line will help us do. So as we change the reference line, as we change information that the reference line relies on, it changes automatically. So let's go. Now let's click on analytics as usual. Then we'll bring our reference line. So if we hold our cursor and bring in our reference line, yeah, let's drop it on profit. Then this window opens up. Now, for this reference line to work, it needs to rest on the parameters. So we know that most of the information we give to Tableau, it rests on parameters because those parameters helps it to say, okay, this do and this is what and that is exactly what I am doing. So now if we click on this value, we would see create a new parameters. Now don't forget, this is another way of creating parameters. If you want to use either the reference line, the reference band, or anything concerning analytics, you can come in and create parameter. So let's click on create new parameters. Then it opens up our parameter windows. So we are working with profit, right? So let's name this profit meter. Yeah. Let's name it profit meter. Okay. Are we on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are using all, and our display format, we want to change that to currency custom. Our display format, because we want to work with profit amount, sales amount, is currency custom. Now I want to bring in our decimal places to 0. And our prefix, I'll be using dollars. You can use pounds, depending on your location. And we say, okay, since we have that, okay. Then we'll use all because we want to have all the information. I want to have all the information. So let's click OK. Okay, so obviously and automatically our value changes to profit meter. Our computation changes to, we change that to value. And what else? Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Line. Okay, let's leave it at that. Profit meter, value, and automatic. Okay. Then we'll say okay. Now we have our profit meter here. So now we still have to go back to our reference line and bring it in again and drop it on sales. Because we just finished working on profit. Once we drop it on sales, we do the same thing. We create a new parameters. Then we change this to sales parameters, yes, or sales meter, sorry. Sales meter. The display format, currency custom, decimal places 0. Okay.
All right, go back to that page again one more time, please, sir.
The currency custom, we select the display format, currency custom. Then we'll bring down the decimal places and the display units, can leave it at none. Or if you want to select, if the data set is in millions, if it's in thousands or billions, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Okay. Okay.
And leave that at none and say okay. Just click out of the box. And our data set, our data type is float. We are leaving that at automatic. And then we are using all. We say okay. They'll come to the computation as value. And we click OK. Okay. Now, if we come into our profit meter, if we type in, let's say, 4,000, and we say sales, let's say 50,000. Now we can see that the reference line has moved, it has moved. And obviously there is no sales above 50,000, but we have profits that are above 4,000. It gives us the meter threshold of those, it shows us the threshold of those products that are above 4,000 in profit. We can bring this down to, let's say, 25,000. Once you click enter, there's no product, there's no sales above 25,000. Let's say 21,000. Okay. As you can see, we have a sales product. The Cisco telepresence is above 21K in sales. The sales amount is 22,638 in sales. And the profit, if we can further move it down to 5,005, for example, and it further goes up. It
Sorry,
gives us, okay,
sorry, quick one. So you know that profit meter, yeah? Is that
yeah,
the one that is saying so all of the X's above the line, are those the ones that have got a profit of
yes,
4,000, right?
yes,
And the ones on the outside, that one, the one on the outside, no, by itself, on your right hand side.
this,
So yeah, so that one, is that saying that the total sales of this was over 21,000?
yes, exactly,
So this one item, the total sales was 22,000, but
yes,
then it shows minus. So does that mean that the profit was minus?
yes,
So they didn't make any money on this particular
exactly.
one. Okay.
And the reason why they did not make money could be as a result of discount.
Okay.
As a result of discount. When an organization overgives discount, or for example, as we are approaching the end of the year, a lot of organizations, like many of these stores, they bring excessive discount on their products because they just want to sell them out. So we can liken that situation to this. You can imagine they had a sales of about 22,000, yet they didn't make profit on it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with
So
you.
so that's how it works. Then we can come to, for example, let's take out the show header. Let's bring out this. Let's say the header, take them out. Let's see. We can adjust this screen size if we want, but I'll be leaving it at this. So basically, this gives us information as regards sales above a certain threshold and profit above some certain threshold as well.
Yeah. So if you are the stakeholder or the owner of this company, then
Yes.
and you see that sort of stuff. So basically, what are you trying to say? That basically that we're not obviously selling as much as not making as much profit as these. So what would then be the next conversation when seeing this outside at this perimeter here?
Well, for example, if I put myself in the position of a stakeholder and I see that we sold so much and yet our profit is minus, then I have to call some of the managers in charge of this product, for example, and we'll look at what's going on. What is the discount that has been given on this product?
Yeah.
If we see that the discount is so much, then we know that, okay, we have to, like, number one, reduce discount on this product and see how the product will perform in the coming year or in the next business year. But for this business year, there is no profit on this product. However, we know that in businesses, organizations make excessive gains on some products. If we look at Amazon, for example, you can see a product on Amazon today for, let's say, £100 or £120, and in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, you can see it selling for £95 or £85.
Yeah.
And mind you, it does not mean that people are not buying it, but people might not really be buying it. For example, I kept some items in my cart some weeks back, and I went back to my cart. I saw the prices. They went down drastically. So immediately I bought the items. Somebody said,
No, because I'm like that as well, to be honest.
what?
I'm like that as well, to be honest. I wait for it.
Yeah,
I'll wait for it to go into discount, to be honest.
because and you would see some products they might be selling for 70 pounds, and next tomorrow you would see 120 pounds. They'll change it. So if, for example, if that particular product that they were selling for a higher price and they brought it down to a lower price, don't forget that they've increased another product to make their profit back on another product. Because in every organization, let's say a manufacturing company, for example, they look at which of their products is selling, is making more money, and they add to the sales amount of that product. People will buy it because they probably might have realized that this is an essential product. So it's an essential product. So people would buy, they wouldn't mind that they've increased the sales amount of this product. But because it is something that is essential, maybe a product that is needed for day-to-day activities, people will buy it. So because this product does not make any profit, it doesn't mean the organization would not make their profit on other products to cover up for a product as such as this. But it depends on the company and their strategy and all of that. So that's just this just shows us it's a represents or a representation of a certain sales threshold, a certain profit threshold. I mean, it helps the organization to further make decisions, because if we go into all of this, we'd even see, you can see products that makes as much as minus 68, and they sold just 291, and a whole lot of other products, and a whole lot of other products. So basically that is what this sales by profit meter. Yes, let's give it a name, sales by profit meter, because it's sales and profit, sales by profit meter. Sales by profit meter. So with this, it gives us information concerning the sales threshold and the profit threshold. Now, there is an important part of Tableau that I really want to show us, but I won't be able to show us in this particular workbook. It is about joins. Just the way we create, what can I liken it to? Okay. In our Tableau class, or in your Tableau class, have you guys gone to the level of where you created relationships between the different tables, right?
Not that I remember for myself. I think
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, where we did modeling.
Yes, that's data modeling. Yes. Okay, I will have to open a new workbook entirely. Let me see, because I'll have to connect to the data source. Let me say Control N, and let's see. Because I won't be able to do it on this worksheet. I'll have to go back to the data source. And if I go back to the data source, because this has been connected to the cloud, so if I go back to the data source, I will it will tamper with this particular workbook. Okay. Okay, so this is a new workbook that I just opened. Now, so let's say I want to connect to data. Let's say I want to connect to data. It's an Excel sheet. Sample superstar. I'll just show us. We don't necessarily have to go back to connecting to the data source. Now, Okay, I wanted to show us the Excel file. Now, when we open if we look at this Excel file, we'll see that we have 3 sheets, which is orders, people, returns, and people. Yeah. Now, when we look at these orders, when we look at order, or when we look at returns, what do we have in common in this returns sheet and this order sheet? We should have something like order ID. Let's see. Oh, let me go back to the top of the. We should have order ID. Okay, we have order ID and order ID. So if we want to create a data modeling between these sheets, would create it using, would merge, or we would join, because even in SQL, I'm sure that Godwin will teach you guys joins. Joins. In the orders we have, in the order sheets, we have order ID. In the returns, we have order ID as well. So if we want to join this sheet to this sheet, would use the order ID. Now, if we come back to people, we would see something like region. Yeah, region. We can join this people sheet to the orders sheet using region as well. Using region. We have region here. So let's practicalize that in our Tableau. So now, if we want to create joins in Tableau, the first thing first we want to bring it out is our orders. Once we drop it on the Canva, then once we drop it on the Canva, we click on this button.
Hi, Albert, please, do you mind sharing your screen?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, so sorry. Oh God. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll take this back. Okay, now this is the Canva. I have gotten the data set. So if I bring out my orders on this Canva, it gives me information concerning these data sets. I just hope this thing would come to. Okay, now if I click on this button to open up this data, then I can bring in my returns. Once I bring in the returns and drop it, it will join. Now, if I click on this, the join button, if I click on the join button, I would see that data source, it has joined using order ID and order ID returns. Yeah. And we have 4 types of join on Tableau. We have the inner, the left, the right, and the full outer join. But it has used an inner join to join the order ID and returns order ID. If I leave it this way, it has created a join in between the data. Now, oh God, I have to scroll down here to be able to where is it? I have to scroll down here. I don't know why it's not giving me the scroll button. Oops. Boy. You have to scroll down here to be able to hide one of the others. But then, if I now bring in my people, the people sheets, and drop it, Then the people has created another join, another inner join using region and people. So this is simply how we create joins on Tableau. This is simply how we create joins. So if I click out of this and say okay, now I don't know why Tableau is not why it's not scrolling. To be honest, I don't know. It has been like that for a while. I don't know. Usually I should be able to come down here. You see, in this field name, we would see what's it? We would see other ID in this field name. And in this remote field, we would see another other ID. So the other ID that is under this field, if we, for example, oh Jesus, why is this thing not coming up? There should be a scroll button here that allows me to move, but it's not coming up. Wait. Or better still, let me try if I can see, if I can get it here. Okay, here. Now let's see. We'll see other ID. We'll see other ID returns. We'll see returned. So this other ID returns, we would have to like hide it. Let's see if I can hide it. Okay. I click on hide. It hides automatically. What I want to do here is what I'm doing here now. If I click on it, has hidden that part. So I would have to hide the other one, the region that has people. This region that has person. If I click on this and I hide, because it has become 2, and I need 1 because I have joined the information. So having done that, if I come to my new sheet, I should see something like, yes, I should see something like people, person. I should see something like returns, returned. Because it used to be two fields or 2 columns, but I've hidden 1 because they are the same information. So if, for example, I want to have information as regards persons, let's say I bring persons here. You see, this, for example, let's say these are salespersons. And I want to, for example, know the sales amount that each of them sold. Let's see. Where is it? Or let's say, where is it? Okay, so if I want to know the sales amount that each of them sold as a salesperson, let's say the organization has gotten to the place where they want to give out commission to the highest salesperson. This person gives us this, we then have this information. Although for the sake of this our class, we don't need this information because we are not working with we are not working with the information of how we want to know the sales amount of the persons. We don't need that. So, but basically that is how we can join data, and we can join sheets to give us so that we don't have duplicate information. Because on Power BI, if we have duplicate information, at times we have to hide or delete duplicates so that it does not congest our visualization. So I just want to make sure that I touch on join. However, it would be taken widely in the SQL class because SQL deals more with the joins, the inner, the outer, and the other types of joins. But if we want to work with, let's say, a marketing organization data set that has salesperson or that has marketers and the sales amount that they've made. So we will know that we have to join this sheet together from the beginning of in this is more like a data modeling, really. It's more like data modeling, but we have to create the joins before we start our visualization. Yeah, before we start our visualization. So with this, we'll be rounding up with tonight's class. And if there is any question before we call it tonight.
Excuse me, I've got a question. Thank you
Okay.
for the class. Yeah. Does this, like, this join that we did now, does it override the join in SQL?
No.
Because I know we have to like write all the query in SQL to join tables, but this one, you just drop a pick and drop, or drag and drop. So does it override SQL?
No, actually, it does not override SQL. This is Tableau joins. This is joining in Tableau. In Tableau, you are not writing any query. You are not saying join table this, join table that, because just as we have the data modeling in Power BI, it will automatically see in Power BI, it will show you the table, the different column, the different fields, the different columns. Field is the same thing as columns. So it would gray out, for example, just as we have in this Excel sheet, I'm trying to share my screen. Now, just as we have in this Excel sheet, if we come to returns, it will go out this order ID. For example, it will go out this order ID, and it will go out this order ID in the orders sheet as well. Yeah, it will go it out automatically for you. But in Tableau, it will see it automatically too. It will automatically see it, but as an analyst, you have to like double check. So if I open it now, you have to double check, like, okay, this is my order. What is it joining? Then it says it has joined region from your data source, which is from your orders, and in the people sheet, it has joined the region too. That's why you have region people, which simply shows the people sheet. So it automatically sees it and it creates an inner join for you automatically. Same thing applies to returns. We know that in the returns, in the orders table or in the orders sheet, we have order ID, and in returns too, we have order ID. So it uses these two fields to create an inner join. So once it creates this inner join, it will bring everything here. It will bring everything, it will bring out all the fields, all the rows. I'm trying to scroll. Okay. Where is it? It will bring out all the rows. So you just have to naturally in this part. I don't know why Tableau does not have a scroll button here. Usually it has a scroll bar that I can scroll. But in this field, I would see I would see all the joins that I've done. I'll see in this field, I'll see all the joins, but I will have to hide it because it has become too information, but they are the same thing. But for the sake of my visualization, I will have to hide one since I have the other, but they are the same information. Just like I hid just as I hid the other ID and the region that has person. Once I've hidden it, or if I go to the new sheet, that's where I'll have people and person. This is the people sheet, and these are the persons that are inside the information. And the same thing applies to returns that has returned. So the joins in Tableau does not override the joins in SQL. You can be working in an organization where what they usually is SQL. So you have to write lots of queries, But at the same time, if you are a business intelligence analyst that works well with Power BI, then you know that you just have to create your relationship in between those fields. And even in Power BI, you will have to hide some fields because you won't need them. I don't know if that's clear enough.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So it's 10:47 and we bring the class to an end.